first ever award show for the Universe Mode, man. It's a great time after WrestleMania. Great. It was a lot of stuff we saw. It was a great show and a way to go out with the year. But now we got to award different superstars for what they did this year. And we're starting with breakout star of the year. We got the top 3 candidates. First, right here, Big Boss Man, representing SmackDown, former World Heavyweight Champion, former Hardcore Champion, actually he won the world title twice, and he won 2 matches at Survivor Series when he was there. And then the only title he won it all, besides the Intercontinental title and the Tag Team title for SmackDown. So he had a very good year, but, you know, some may say it could have been better. Next, we got another SmackDown competitor in this. We have none other than Rikishi, who was also former World Heavyweight Champion. He was a IC champion. He was a Hardcore champion. But for those titles, besides the IC championship, they were mainly short reigns. And that's why some may say that he has the accolades to back up this. The thing is that he might not have enough for his resume to be breakout star of the year just because of his reigns this year. And lastly, the man who's on up, down, down, but most of his success got to be credited to Thursday Night Raw, making him who he was. None other than Damian Priest, who was a world champion overall and a tag team champion at the same time. And now he is a leader of his own faction, the Dark Side, who came up short at WrestleMania. So man, those are the 3 candidates for breakout star of the year. Now we need to see, are the votes in yet, and who the winner is. We need to get votes from Viznak, Terrell, and Zilla, and Demar if he wants to.
You say it or we just text it in?
Oh, text it.
Well, I text mine, but I can say it.
Text
it. Just like.
Is Viznak even here?
Yeah.
So put your vote. Is Demar here? If Demar's not here, don't really matter.
If I only need one more vote for Indus, I only need one more vote. That's it.
You texting
to
vote Viznak? Okay,
yeah,
and it's final. We have the breakout star of the year announced, going to, and if you guys want to take a screenshot and put it in the chat, breakout star of the year goes to Big Boss Man. Congratulations on winning none other than this award. Breakout star of the year. He went from being someone that nobody thought of, nobody dared to pick up, to being main event worthy talent and taking on some of the best and taking them to win it. And man, and for each category, by the way, whatever's at number 1, that's going to be considered my vote, because I mean that's what I think should win. So let's go to the next award though. We got we're not gonna, it's not in order from what they have it, as I said, but I want to talk next about the Rookie of the Year. There's been a lot of new superstars that have been showing out this year. A lot of great competitors this year from that rookie class. And we want to acknowledge them. And we got the first one I want to acknowledge from the women's superstar side, who who was undefeated at a point, who only had one loss before she lost her championship this week. She had a pretty dominant reign while she was there. None other than the one and only Chris Statlander right here. And I don't know if the AEW GM, if he wants to talk about her accomplishments or wants me to talk about her, but the main thing she did, like I said, she won the women's championship when that ended AJ Lee's reign. She had it going on from last year. She was such a dominant champion, but then Chris Statlander came in and put a stop to that. And then became so dominant that no woman could beat her until this week. Offered a women's championship, and that was Paige. Now next, for the Rookie of the Year, we got another great competitor, one of the greatest wrestlers, none other than Kenny Omega, which I think he speaks for himself. But some may say that he didn't do enough for his standards when was he a Impact World Champion, King Money?
No. He lost to Chris Bay. He couldn't get that title off of him.
So the only title he had was that Impact X Division?
Yes, he was. The X Division title.
And he was he put that X Division title on the map, I would say, when he had it. And he was a great competitor. When he was doing that at a point, no competitor could beat him. And then the last man who's in
the most important man of this whole fucking show.
And he's in the race for Superstar of the Year, so it might just be a clear winner right here for this. The Rookie of the Year, the Impact World Champion, Chris Bay.
Oh my God, this man has been showed up and showed out this whole year in Universe Mode. He first came, he had a 3-3 match against the Club. And he lost that match. It wasn't his fault though. Then Survivor Series, he made his Survivor Series team. And he came back from a 3v1. He was all by himself and took over the gold. Took it all over. Then after that, on that same week, that Thursday, he took the title off of Chris Jericho. Then after that, it was history.
That's facts. Now, we need to get the votes in. Biznek, Navarre, Terrell. Let's see what the people say. And if Zua and Demar, if they want to vote as well. We need Navarre and Biznak's votes in. Murray just one more vote because, like I said, whoever I have at the top.
I got it.
Okay. So it's confirmed. None other than the Rookie of the Year goes to this man right here, Chris Bay. What a year.
He put the Bullet Club on his back. Him and Kenta was the two main competitors of this team and helped them achieve so much. Kenta is the X Division champion, and with his best man to the side of him is being the world champion. Nothing else.
Now next, speaking of Chris Bay, the category that he's also in that we are going to talk about next is Moment of the Year.
Never mind. Just give him another award. Chris Bay can walk out here with 3 awards tonight.
There's a lot of great moments this year going through the year. A lot of great spots, a lot of different impacts on the year. It's just been a crazy year. Like it is. And then the first candidate for this award is none other than Daniel Bryan, who we just saw had a hard-fought match at WrestleMania but came up short. And he's here because at the pay-per-view, when he was locked in a cell, he fell off the cell. Not 1, not 2, but 3 times. and he kept getting up and kept getting up and kept fighting. And then he got spine buster through the cell, having one of the best moments you can see him and Stone Cold put on a classic in that match. And that might not be the only thing we hear of those two tonight. Then number 2 for candidate, we have another cell match that was very brutal. We had none other than Brock Lesnar F5 Edge through a cell, and Edge fell off the cell on his own and continued to fight, then came back and won at SummerSlam. So then they put on
that match.
And that's a big moment. F5 them through the cell and then Edge coming back and still winning the match. What a moment that is. And in the last moment, some may say the most impressive moment, it was none other than that Survivor Series when he had all the odds against him, when all his partners were gone, when it was just him left against 3 of the best, 3 great competitors, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, to put their names out there. But that didn't matter to him, who they were, because all we saw was just one man in his way. And he was able to pull off the 3-1 comeback and get his team a point at Survivor Series. None other than the man that's won Rookie of the Year and the Impact World Champion himself, Chris Bay. So let's get votes in for Moment of the Year.
I think we already know who won this award.
Let's see. There's a lot of great moments, man. Those are some of the craziest moments I've ever heard of in WWE history. So, man. But let's see. Oh, this could be one that's not clear. Clear winner. Okay, we need some more votes in then. Because like I said, whatever I have number 1. So.
Now we need Navarre results answer.
I'll send a screenshot. Alright, we waiting on the last vote to see who will win. Okay, and it's in. And the winner for Moment of the Year, coming out with another award, is Chris Bay, coming back from that 3-1 lead at Survivor Series.
Chris Bay has
what a impact this man had this year. Now, moving on. Next award you're going to talk about is the best return of the year. A lot of great returns this year. And one of them being this week. Well, last week now. But, we had none other than John Cena and Kane going at it. They fight it. And John Cena slams down Kane. And the only thing you see is the lights turn off. And Undertaker comes from behind on John Cena and makes his it makes his return, to in-ring action. Right. And then that's one of the candidates. And another candidate we have, Alexa Bliss, being out of action for so long. Nobody knew when she was coming back. There was rumors speculating, but it was never confirmed. And then she made her mark and surprised by making her return at the Royal Rumble, coming in at number 30. What a return that was. And then last return, which you just have to be there to know it, man. Was when Stone Cold and Finn Balor were fighting on Up, Up, Down, Down. They started, after the match, they started fighting outside the ring, and none other than Samoa Joe, he came out after the match and started attacking both of them, making his own mark, saying that I'm back and I'm ready for that world title picture, and doing what he does best, and made a statement. So that's the nominees. Let's put it in the chat, man. Alright, so let's put it in the chat for return of the year. Alright, let's get the votes in. Votes in. Who we got winning for return of the year?
That was quick.
The vote has been in.
And yes, the vote is in. Now Samoa Joe, he gets himself a award tonight. Man, what a return that was. Samoa Joe winning return of the year. Let's put that for the people to know, return of the year. Yeah, that was quick, Bisnack. Very quick. Oh, Charles, send a screenshot of the other thing too for those. Chris Bay winning one of the year. Alright. Now, let's get to the next award. Award that has been talked about. Recently. And it's been changed around a lot. It's had a lot of adjustments to it. Because this is a list that nobody wants to be on. And that's none other than the biggest disappointment of the year. And man, this really just addresses competitors that had high expectations, who were very good in the past, but then this year, it just didn't replicate that. They just had a very down year. That doesn't mean they can't bounce back from it, but this really just addresses their flaws and tells them what they need to work on, and that they need to come back better the next year. And the first candidate for that is none other than Finn Balor. Which, Finn Balor, he's had a lot of downs. The only title he's even won this year was the 24/7 championship. And it was getting so bad, the point that he had a match against the Miz on Up Down Down, where if he lost, he was not allowed to show his face again on the Up Down Down brand, and that he let down, and that continued like a 5, 6, 7. I lost count how much losses it was, that losing streak. And that was very sad to see, and then he was taken off the roster because of it, him losing to the Miz. But then he said, I'm not allowed to show my face, so he made a return with his face paint on as the Damon. And as the Demon, he made a statement by beating JBL. And then he said, I'm not allowed to show my face on Up Down Down, but I can show it on other brands. And he pulled up again as his regular self on Thursday Night Raw. He had a really great match against Shinsuke. He came up short. And we saw him again at WrestleMania, even though he wasn't competing at ringside. So it's been an up week for him this week. But still, doesn't make up for his disappointing year. Now next, we got a tag team that was very disappointing. A tag team that was called greatest tag team on the planet, but they just weren't that this year. And they never televised won a tag team title this year. Maybe they won it underground or wherever. Maybe somewhere on the low. But from what we saw, they didn't make an impact this year, and that made them really disappointed. And that's none other than the Young Bucks that we expect better from them. They should be in that tag team of the year conversation, but they just weren't that. And the last one we have to talk about, who gotta be the most disappointed. She was the most hyped women's superstar when she made her return, her debut on the Universe mode this year, but her return to the WWE, none other than Ronda Rousey. And when she returned, she kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed on not just Thursday Night Raw, but on AEW. She just couldn't get it done. And for her ability that we know she has, I feel like that can be viewed as the biggest disappointment. But that's not for me to choose. That's for you guys to vote. And let's get the votes in now. Who is gonna get this biggest disappointment? Does Navarro want to vote?
Now, that's already 4 people. I think who did vote no more.
I was just trying to see what they vote. See what they would say. Oh, yeah, this is clear. The biggest disappointment was Ronda Rousey, man. And hopefully she can get back on track next year. But yes, very disappointing year, man. She needs to be better next year. And now, switching gears from that, now let's get on a positive note. Let's talk about what really showcases a show, what everybody works on to make their show entertaining, to keep people watching, to keep people intrigued to watch the next. And that's none other than storyline of the year. It's what everybody puts together. It's what keeps the show going. And there's been a lot of great storylines, a lot of personal storylines. It's a long road, honestly. And the first candidates for this storyline of the year goes to Ryback and Roman Reigns. You see, they the same overall, but they were in, one was on Mania, and one was not on it at all, and it's a 24/7 champion. But at the time, Ryback, he was an undrafted, free agent. He came to the, when he came to it, he got drafted to the show, and then his contract did not get picked up, and he was very disappointed. He felt like he deserved at least a spot on the roster, a chance to prove himself. And then a month later, he gets a call from Vince saying that, Ryback, this is your shot. If you want to prove that you deserve a roster spot at the time, had the most depth out of all shows roster, had the most superstars on that roster. He wouldn't let this slip through him. And that same very title you see he has right now, he won it on his first night to show to Vince, show to the WWE Universe mode, and really show it to Saturday Night Main Event that he deserved to be here. And since then, he was on a streak, a rampage, and the only time he lost is when he finally gave up that 24/7 championship. He didn't care about it anymore, so he just let someone beat him. And then he started going for bigger and better things. He went up to challenge none other than the big dog, the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And he was looking like the best self. He was looking like the best challenger Roman has had. And he was ready. Everybody, and he was at some point even becoming a favorite, which was crazy. And even though his performance didn't replicate that, he still put on a show. Now, what a rivalry that was. And Roman's just had some great rivalries this year, because he's in Canada for another rivalry where it included him and The Rock. It's the Battle of Family, which it gets so personal because they are supposed to do the best for each other. They are supposed to be standing together, not going against each other. But this went on since last WrestleMania, where Roman and Rock were on the top of their shows. Rock winning BIW with the BIW World Heavyweight Championship. Roman having the Saturday Night Main Event World Heavyweight Championship. Both titles on the line. Undisputed title. Whoever wins gets both titles. And Roman Reigns comes on top. And then, after that, going to the next year, and The Rock, he gets drafted to a new show. He gets drafted to All Elite. While Roman, being the world champ, being the face, the brand, he stays on Saturday Night Main Event. But then eventually Saturday Night Main Event made a trade for The Rock. And he came back, and he made it known what his intentions were. That he didn't care. He won the 24/7 championship, but then weeks later, when he lost it to Finn Balor, then he said, and that's not what he cared about. What he cared about was getting back what was rightfully his. That's when he made the challenge against Roman Reigns. And he came out on top and said that last year it was just a fluke, and proved it to be so. In the last rivalry, maybe the most personal rivalry, and I know the man that had this storyline, he might want to say it himself, because he was the mastermind behind this. So Terrell, do you want to come to the stand and talk about this? Let's see if Terrell, if he in the building, if he wants to talk about this story. see. Do you want? If he doesn't, if he doesn't, we can carry on, man. so let's so let's carry on. I'll say it myself, even though it just doesn't feel as right. So it came Damian Priest and Edge. It's so personal because Edge, he he was on the top. He was the one that was he was the one that everybody respected. He was the world champion. He was the guy. He was the face, and he's the MVP for Raw. And then he sees this new kid coming, getting traded to Raw, and that he sees something in him, and he brings him to him. He said that I
Back.
see
I'm back.
potential in you, Damian Priest. I see it, and he gave him a shot. He said that maybe he went for the United States. He went for the United States Championship. And do you recall, Terrell? Did he win that United States Championship?
Damian Priest? No, he did not.
So he lost that match, but then still they went after the tag team championships because Edge didn't want to make Damian Priest feel alone. So they went after the tag team championships and they won them. And Edge had both titles at the same time because of it. And how impressive that was. Then eventually something just went wrong. They lost those tag team titles. They weren't looking the same anymore. And Damian Priest stopped teaming with him. And it just started going downhill for the team. And then, do you want to talk about what happened after that, Terrell?
I mean, it just like Drake said, nothing was the same, you know? It was like, Damian Priest felt like he could do way, way more than just a tag team or the singles and mid-card division, I might say. And it's like, I agree with him. And one thing came to another. Damian Priest turned on Edge and the rest is history. The most personal battle this year has seen.
Yeah, and then he went after that world championship and succeeded and took it away from Edge. And now, that's all. And it's time to vote. What is your storyline of the year? Vikings won?
Yeah. Well, no, it's overtime. Wait.
Yeah, I'm still watching on Red Zone, remember?
No, they won. Yeah. Anyways, we already have the drone.
Yeah, I'm just texting. Alright, now we have a winner for storyline of the year going to Edge and Damian Priest. The battle of the team. Edge and Damian Priest. The battle of Judgment Day, man. Had a lot of stuff put into it. Very, very personal. Man. Now, let's get on to the next award. Let's talk about none other than the tag team of the year. The tag division was really good this year. It, it kind of had its ups and downs at some point. It looked like a team that's not even in the finals for top three. It seemed like they were gonna get the tag team of the year, which referring to BOD after they won the tag team titles and they won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and then they had everything going for them, and then eventually that all stopped. They lost their tag team titles, and when they lost them, then they broke up, and they never became the same since. So then other teams started rising. The first candidate for this is none other than the Usos. You see, the Usos, they they've been doing exactly what they said they were gonna do. They were gonna dominate. They were gonna put on for the bloodline, and I would say that's exactly what they did. They they made sure that they showed that the bloodline is a top team. They took and if there was any question about if they could keep those titles at the end of the year, they put it to the test, defending it in a tag team elimination match, and still left the night with the gold at the end of the year as a tag team champions. Now, another team we got Diamond Mine. It's Diamond Mine, really good tag team. They beat another candidate in FTR that we were going to be seeing coming to the stage. They beat them not once, only once televised, but twice. And wasn't any implications, but both tag team champions and beat them twice. And they came up short against BOD, but they put on great performance. And then they were having the tag team titles for longest. No team was beating them. And then it seemed like ever since the Elimination Chamber it started going downhill, and it seemed like management was trying to protect them. Because at the Elimination Chamber, they defended their titles in the tag team elimination, and when it seemed like Diamond Mine was about to lose their tag team titles to Jericho, because it was a 2-on-1 left, Jericho had the advantage. They looked like they were the favorites to win those tag team titles, and then the whole production crew shut it off. They made sure that the lights went off. They had to restart the match, and it really screwed Jericho having to that they had to restart the match, and they didn't have the 2-on-1 advantage anymore. And after that happened, Diamond Mine came out victorious, and that's when people started to question their credibility, their talents, and if they were that dominant as a tag team champions. And then other teams started to call them out and stuff, and they kept ignoring them. They weren't taking on any more challengers. They just were worried about their own show, and they were making other teams have to earn to face them. They weren't defending their titles. And last night we saw WrestleMania being put to the test. Last time, a tag team Extreme Rules match, they went against Swerve in Our Glory, and Swerve in Our Glory came out victorious and won those tag team belts. But nevertheless, Diamond Mine, they had a good reign. Well, they had it. And then the last team we have, who are also still tag team champions, is FTR. Which FTR, you can go on a list of their accomplishments for this year, taking on all the challengers and knocking down the whole up, down tag team division, and winning this tag team wager against Thursday Night Raw when they collab, and then winning the tag team titles twice when they were on up, down. And the second time they won it, they haven't lost it since, and they were put to the challenge and having to defend their titles one more time for the year end, and they defended it against the team that was on a hot streak. They were on a 3-match winning streak, Imperium, and they had the whole Imperium there to watch to make sure Imperium could come out victorious, but it just did not pay off, and FTR still came out victorious and ended the year as tag team champions. Now it's time to vote tag team of the year. Let's get the votes in. We got FTR winning right now 2-1-1. Let's see if we get some more votes. Now, Viznak, since you voted the Usos, do you want to talk about your case right now while we're waiting for the votes to get in?
The Usos are just so dominant, man. Like, and especially like WrestleMania. Like they did it. They pulled it off the WrestleMania, yo. Like, triple threat tag team eliminate. Like, no, bro. To me, I don't know, man. I don't know if FTR beats that. Which is why I went to the Usos.
Well, I guess I did not mention in my case for FTR that actually FTR and Usos they came up against each other as well, and when they both were 3 and 4 in the rankings, and both tag team champions, and this was the last, and this was to prove which team was better, and it's a great match, and FTR came in the favorites, and they came out on top in the match and beat the Usos.
Yeah, but it's not who's better. It's tag team of the year, or
Yeah,
not
but I'm
tag
saying
team.
it was this month, so it's very recent. But I but
Right?
I but I understand because let's see if we get any more votes. All right, it's 2-2. Waiting on the tiebreaker because we got right now going on. We have we have a battle between two teams for to determine the tag team of the year. It's either could be here. We got FTR, who had an amazing year, or Usos, who has also had an amazing year and defended their titles at WrestleMania and came out victorious. So it could be a case made for both. Very. This is getting intense, Bismack. I don't know. Is the has this been the longest ongoing vote at all?
Yeah.
Like, man, and that tells you how good these two tag teams are, how much of a case they have for this very award. it is in. We have Tag Team of the Year made. And they said it coming into the year. And they were right. They came out with it. And none other. Let's get the photo of them together. Right there, the tag team champs. Right there. FTR. What a win. Tag team of the year from these two, man. Now, since we just talked about tag team of the year, why don't we talk about the faction of the year? Now, the faction of the year got a lot of competition as well. The factions we have Diamond Mine, who is also in this. That how we were talking how dominant they were as a tag team. Roger Strong at the same time is holding the digital media championship, and he had a nice reign at that time as well, and they just looked like they weren't going to be stopped, and it was getting to a point that they weren't being stopped. However, now all the gold is gone, so it kind of could hurt the shot of winning this award. But we'll see what the votes say. Now next, we got the Bullet Club, which it doesn't show all their members, but we have Chris Bay, who you just saw already has 2 awards, and he is the Impact World Champion. You got Kenta, who is the X Division Champion, and you got Gallows and Anderson, who they have still been pretty consistent themselves, tag division, but haven't really found that tag team championship success. And then Ace Austin, who just competed tonight and on the pre-show for the Cruiserweight Championship. And I think he put his name on the map to be someone on the lookout. But enough being said about them. Then we have the reigning faction of the year, and we'll see if they keep that label. We got the Ones, the Bloodline in the building. We got tag team champions that we just saw lost tag team of the year. They're not discouraged about that. This is what they're looking for in the Usos. And then Roman being world champ, $1 million champ, coming down the shows, knocking on their door and slamming it back when he left, and not stepping forward again. And any man that want to step against them, there was one person, Shawn Michaels, but besides that, every man that stepped up to him, and since then he took that personal, every man that stepped up to him, he made sure to put them down, and he was responsible for the reason that Saturday Night Main Event came in at number 1 at Survivor Series, and he was just in their main title match, one of the pinnacles for the show.
I got 30 points of fantasy, just keep it
now we got vote. Bruh, we're not talking about fantasy right now. Vote now. Let's see what y'all got. And D-Mar, since you're here, why don't you do some votes? And we got a winner, man. Faction of the year. They keep their title. None other than the Ones themselves. The Bloodline are still on top. So why they are named Faction of the Year for a reason. And will that continue next year? Or will someone finally put an end just faction, because I know it was getting interesting this year, and Bullet Club had a strong case for it. It's gonna get even more competitive next year with the factions. Now, we now what do we have next? Looking at the awards left, leaving specific to the last two. So let's talk next about the best individual pay-per-view, which that's something you had to just be there for. But some may say this is a clear winner, and we've had 3 pay-per-views. We had we had 3 solid pay-per-views or better. We had the Impact's WrestleMania Backlash, which it got a rating of a 7.5 out of 10. That doesn't mean you got to base it off of that, because they had some good matches, some really good matches, but people would also say that those matches were so limited. It wasn't a consistent show. And some good matches you saw, like a triple threat X Division Championship match that was really good. And the rest, you could say it's really history. It wasn't that memorable to you. It's really just how you see it. And then we had Thursday Night Raw's Payback, which got a 7.8 out of 10. And the show, it wasn't bad booked, but it's just really a flow of the show, how it went, and that technical difficulties they had to endure throughout the show, which it just continues to haunt Thursday Night Raw, and just really, it just took off the vibe of the show, and there was all these different step backs happening throughout the show. It still was a good book show, and it had some entertaining matches. Especially, I want to highlight that Triple Threat TLC Women's Tag Team Number 1 Contender match, where Nikki Cross and Dana Brooke, where they came out on top for that. But that was the main match I would want to highlight when talking about that. And then Up, Down, Down, which this is why they might not win, because this is my award and could be biased, some may say, but I gave it 10 out of 10 just because the fact that it had so many matches, and every match was so good to the point, like, you could debate a good 5-6 matches that could have been matched of the night, how good it was. And really, the worst match was a cell match between Roman and Sheamus, which got a 3.5 out of 5, but everything else was stacked on the card. Like everything else, at least a 4. And for a pay-per-view, being that the case, and being that consistent the whole show with so many matches, that gives a strong case for pay-per-view of the year. But we'll see what the people say. Let's vote now. This dude just said Payback. I'll tell you in a minute over there if your vote is next.
I don't have a vote for this one.
Where's Terrell at? Well, Terrell, he finishes out the vote. He he gives it to the Cell pay-per-view itself, giving them giving them pay-per-view of the year. What a show it was. And if that one pay-per-view of the year, if there's any pay-per-view you would want to go back and watch, I'd recommend for you to go back to that one right there. And congratulations to that winning pay-per-view of the year. Alright. I'll see the next award is. Now next, we got the match of the year, which a lot of good, strong cases for match of the year. A lot of great matches this year, and should be expected when you like, man, I mean, when it's a whole year of matches, like I think you can agree, Viznek. Like, there's bound to be some good or great matches. And yeah, I would say that what's it called? And I would say that honestly, these top three are just the ones that were outstanding the most. Okay, there's that. And reason I think these were outstanding just because of the stuff that was on the line and what all came with it. And that being said, let's get the vote. We got first, and then we got Andre the Giant versus Roman Reigns, a 30-minute Iron Man match for Saturday Night Main Event Championship, but as well, the UK Championship was also on the line. It was a double title match, and that's what made the stakes even bigger. And the match was really good to start, and it kind of slowed down through the middle of it, but then at the end, it picked up, and it was, and at a point, Andre, he was looking like dominant. It looked like this was his match. Like he had his win locked in, but then Roman, he took that personal, and with like the last 5 minutes, he started just doing what he loves to do best and smashing his opponent. And he was getting fall after fall after fall after fall and so forth. And it was getting to at a point that it wasn't even competitive anymore, that people wanted the match to be over because how dominant Roman was being. And he finally put an end to the hype of Andre the Giant. But for what it was and for what was on the line, this match was a candidate for top 3. Now, we also had another match that was really good, but didn't have as much stakes. But some may say this was match of the year because of everything that happened with it, and for the moments and just being complete overall. And this was Edge versus Brock Lesnar. And this was on SummerSlam where Brock Lesnar, he was beating up Edge. He was getting the best of Edge. Brock, he was looking so dominant. that doing all these suplexes, and everybody thought it was going to be the end for Edge. And he was rallying back, hitting some spears on the top of the cell, but it wasn't breaking. And then Brock finally caught him. He grabbed him and picked him up, hit the F5 through the cell, and the rest was history. And and that's what we thought at least. But next, what shocked the world when the ref went for the 1, 2, and a kick out. And man, that's what everybody was hyped to see. That's what everybody wanted to see. That would have been a perfect finish, but Edge didn't care. He wasn't going like that. And he rallied back into the match and made sure that he kept what was his. He hit the spear and retained his belt. Now, we get to the now, because he retained the belt instead of being a new champion, that's what some people say is the reason why it's an argument for it not being match of the year, which the other candidate had the opposite result. But you can see what it is it was on the show that just won pay-per-view of the year. So that's something you should look back at, especially if this one's match of the year, which it was none other than Daniel Bryan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the up down championship in a cell match. And it was the most painful it could be. Each time Stone Cold, he was beating down Daniel Bryan, and it got to the point where he punched him off the cell. He kicked him in the gut and made him fall off the cell. He tossed him off the cell, and he even Stone Cold stunned him, not once, but twice off the cell. And he just kept getting up and up and up and up. And then it got to the point where he did a pile driver through the cell and broke the cell. And then he went for the cover, and the same thing happened. It was a 1, a 2, and a kick out. And Daniel Bryan started fighting back. He was rallying back to get the title. But then they had a solid match. But eventually Stone Cold, he just wanted it more and pulled out the Stone Cold Stunner in the ring and got the 1, 2, 3 and became the new up down champions in his first ever title match on up down. So that's all I can say about those matches, though. Let's get the vote in. Now, we might not be getting any more votes in. So let's see a second. Alright, then we'll give the none other the match of the year to Brock Lesnar and Edge. What a match that was, in a hard fought battle from Edge coming back. Man, what a match that was. Now, we want to talk about upsets of the year. We want to talk about people that coming into the match, they weren't as the as the favorite, and some may say in the match they were seen as the underdog, and that doesn't happen often, but it does happen, and that's why we give the recognition to people that had the odds against them, and they still found out a way to come out on top. And that's none other than the upset. First candidates I want to talk about is Damian Priest pulling off the upset against Shawn Michaels, in which you see he's a TNT champion now and he's up and stuff. And at this time, Damian Priest, we were talking about how he was under Edge's wing and everything, and that was still at that time. He was a rising star, and when he came into this King of the Ring, this was in the first round. People were like, "There's no way Damian Priest wins." Like this, the brackets were just really against Damian Priest. It was matched against him, but man, it was a hard-fought battle, and Damian Priest, he found a way to come out victorious and win the match, which was a very impressive win and upset. Now next, we have for upset, we have the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, who he is dominant and is still Brock Lesnar that we know. And he got challenged by someone that superstars weren't taking serious because he was still considered a celebrity or mid-carder at the time. And you can see from the matches, from the suplexes he had to endure from Brock, that Brock, he was thinking it was light. He thought it was easy. But this man, Logan Paul, didn't let that get to him. And he put it all on the line for that match. And he came out victorious and shocked everybody. And people try to be in denial of it. But he made it known, something that you cannot deny, that he was a main eventer because of it at that time. And in the last, definitely not least, upset that shocked us all, and still can't believe it to this day, was none other than that TLC. These two went at it. It was The Rock and Vince McMahon. The Rock, he was pissed off because this was coming off of, he had a world championship match where it was supposed to be him versus Brett for the world championship. But instead, Vince McMahon got himself involved and said he didn't trust either competitors to represent at Survivor Series, so he wanted to win his own. and instead it was just a plan to that he just didn't want The Rock to be world champ because he allowed Bret Hart to put him in a sharpshooter, and when he put him in the sharpshooter, Vince tapped out instantly, and that might have made up for when he screwed Bret in the past, but we still were curious afterwards why he did that, why he screwed The Rock, and why he didn't trust The Rock. And The Rock didn't care for explanation. He was looking for revenge. And after Survivor Series, he didn't care what the repercussions were going to be. He went straight after Vince McMahon and challenged him. And challenged him to a one-on-one after he went after his whole family and said that he was going to beat it out of him. Which when he was bringing the beating to Vince and everything, but then when he brought the beating, Vince found a way to retaliate. He that day he fought and he learned what Triple H taught him and used that to win and come out on top against The Rock, and everybody was upset because that was supposed to be The Rock's time to really get revenge for his being screwed in the past. And that's what gets this on the list now. And let's vote for what you think was upset of the year. Is King Money gonna put in his vote? I mean, it probably is decided the winner because I don't think Navarre or Demar is voting, but just wanted to see. Well, even if I don't get the votes, any more votes, we have your final. We got our upset of the year. We have it being The Rock, who this was supposed to be his time to shine, his time to finally feel good after losing his title and beat up Vince. Something he was loving to do, but Vince didn't just allow that to happen, and he instead shocked the world and made this list and won upset of the year. So what a win by Vince, man. You would have never thought a corporate guy would be winning an award tonight. And let's go to next. We're getting to the two biggest awards. We got first the Women's Superstar of the Year award. That's what we're going to talk about. The Women's Superstar of the Year. It had a lot of great talent. the thing is that only one woman superstar can win that award, and that was between it was between first candidate being it was Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, she's she started out slow when she was on Impact, but ever since she went to Raw, she was doing really good, and she won the Women's Championship and was running Raw, and then just recently lost it this week, but then in the same week she won it back on the pre-show, and then she went to WrestleMania and had a WrestleMania match, but she came up short, and and it's still because of her time on Raw, it puts her as a finalist. But the thing is, that's what questions if she is Women's Superstar of the Year caliber or not. And then second, we got Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard, she last year she was women's champion and um tag team champion, kind of doing what Charlotte's did this year, and she had the longest reign for women's championship in history until that streak was broken by the other woman we will talk about that is a candidate, and she had a long run. Tessa, she won the women's championship. She won the women's championship again this year, and she made the finals of the Mae Young Classic. She beat the likes of Britt Baker and Becky Lynch, and added to her list beating Charlotte Flair, giving her her first loss all year. And the only thing she just couldn't achieve that she wanted to add to resume, which could have really helped in deciding, helping her case of Women's Superstar of the Year, was that Women's Tag Team Championship. But no, she could not win it. And man, that's why there's question if she really deserves this Women's Superstar of the Year. Wow. On the other hand, the last candidate for it, we have the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who's still the Women's Tag Team Champion. But she lost her Women's Championship, and after she lost her Women's Championship just this week to Nikki Bella, and the same month she lost to Tessa Blanchard in a regular match. But don't let that take away from her having the Women's Championship and Women's Tag Team Championship at the same time for basically half of the year, and then having the Women's Championship for the whole year and being undefeated until this month. So her being a favorite might have been a clear favorite might have went down. I still think she is the favorite to win this award. But let's see what people say. Who was the Women's Superstar of the Year?
Is King Money bitch ass here?
No, I don't think so. Are you voting or no?
Which one is it?
Women's Superstar of the Year.
I don't know where my phone is. Okay.
Well, you could say it's Charlotte, Tessa, and Sasha for finalists.
It's Charlotte.
Charlotte. Well, we have the winner for Women's Superstar of the Year, and then we only have one more award left. Women's Superstar of the Year goes to none other than Charlotte Flair. It's for her reign. It's well deserved. Even though this month may have been rough for her, that doesn't take away from the year she had this year. And then last, for a reason, because they say the best, they call it the best award, saying that's the reason why it's last. And that's none other than that Superstar of the Year award. And man, that's what everybody looked at, seeing who was climbing up the mountain to see who could get that award, who could win, and who could prove their dominance of the year by winning that award. And we got the candidate being first, Chris Jericho, who won the Impact World Championship, and that now is the AEW World Champion. And at first he was only in the top 5, but because of his recent success, he made his way to the top 3, and he has a really good case for being Superstar of the Year. And then another man who has a really good case being Superstar of the Year and winning another award. This man right here, Roman Reigns, who won Faction of the Year, and now he's looking to win the Superstar of the Year, which says it himself, being Saturday Night Main Event Champion, I believe, either 2 or 3 times, being $1 Million Champion, being the leader, the most dominant faction in the universe mode, being probably the most consistent superstar in the universe mode, getting Saturday Night Main Event, the Survivor Series win, putting Saturday Night Main Event on the map, being the face of the brand. And he made that Saturday Night Main Event championship famous because he brought the prestige of it by bringing it into this year as an undisputed Saturday Night Main Event championship. And that's why he was protected by Saturday Night Main Event, because he was the one that they felt like that he really was that guy. That he was the one that you just couldn't lose out on. And I feel why Saturday Night Main Event did that, and he proved them to be right keeping him, because that would have been a big loss if they didn't. And has still been in the main event picture since. And last, but definitely not least, the current favorite for Superstar of the Year. This man right here, Chris Bay, who started his time in that Superstar of the Year conversation when he beat the likes of, when he came back at Survivor Series from that 3-on-1 lead, and that's when he entered himself the world title picture. And then the next week, he wins the Impact World Championship, and then he goes undefeated for a long time up until the Rumble, where then he loses to Cody Rhodes. But then the next few weeks, he gets his rematch clause and wins it right back. And then he went on and on and on till Mania, where it was about a question if he was still going to be Superstar of the Year. But then he got it.
I don't know what the question is, because the person who's below him didn't even win a title. He got tapped out to lose. He didn't even get the title back. He got tapped out.
Cut the mic out. What's good? We need to talk about. Well, we are describing the candidates. Don't bring the bias into it. Now Chris Bay. Now Chris Bay. Now Chris Bay.
There's only 2 champions
Mania.
Award, and I'm the best champion in the GM Universe mode.
He went to Mania. Okay, Chris Bay, can you all get him to the back? He hasn't been announced yet. He's had 2 awards already for tonight, and he won his WrestleMania match last night. And let's see, holding now, who is the superstar of the year. Navarre, you here? Well, actually, Navarre, he already said earlier that he was throwing Chris Bay. I mean, this is the last award, so I want to get everybody's vote. And that's final. We got to end the night. The superstar of the year being given to Chris Bay. And he doesn't go out with just one award. Not 2 awards, but 3. And probably the more valuable award. And that's where we end the night of the awards show. Congratulations to all our winners tonight. And we'll see you. And I'll see you guys next year in the universe mode. Thank you to everybody for joining us. And we will be and our first stop for the next year will be that Superstar Shakeup that will definitely change the landscape of this universe mode.
Yes, it will.
We balance it out. And that's all we have. Congratulations to Chris Bay, your Superstar of the Year.